the Eagles. Zach. That's good call and good execution. Big first down. Right through the wickets.
Coming up on High School Game Night, 3 teams change sections. We'll show you how the shuffle is changing the LL landscape.
Plus, we head down to the sidelines with our local teams as they prepare for the 2012 season.
Hello and welcome to our preseason high school game night special. I'm Jackie Fred Shuley. He is Brian Cass, and there's nothing more exciting than the start of high school football season and the trek for some that could lead back to Chocolate Town.
Yeah, what a year in 2011 for the LL League. 2 teams claimed District 3 titles, and of course Lancaster Catholic for the state crown. Only the second time a team from the LL won that state title.
That's right, Brian. It was a great season last year, but this year it's all about starting a new chapter for 3 of our teams with a big section shuffle, changing the league picture quite a bit.
Yeah, that's right, Jackie. A lot of teams have brand new homes this season. After dropping down to Section 2, Garden Spot dropping down to Section 3, and Lancaster Catholic, of course, leaping up with the big boys in Section 1.
The reigning state champs, the Crusaders, dealing with powerhouse Wilson in that incredible 90-man roster. Well, Ephrata finally saying goodbye to those roster sizes and now facing arch nemesis Coke Calico for section bragging rights.
Can't underestimate a rivalry like that in Section 2, and Garden Spot will start a new era for its program in Section 3, although they'll have to deal with District 3 Single A champs Columbia.
Big changes to the league look, and every one of those teams are looking forward to the new schedule and challenge.
Do a lot more teaching, a lot more technique now, and try and stay out of a lot of banging in practice and try and keep kids healthy.
It's more competition, and like a lot better teams.
Do it again, do it again.
It's definitely going to be a good feeling not to be outmanned that greatly this year.
Prepare the same way that we did last year because we don't know what to expect.
Starting from scratch this year, so I think that'll be just the game planning and the X's and O's stuff will be quite an adjustment.
Section 1 really is a beast to play through with these changes to the season schedule. How will all the teams be affected come November? As always, when we need someone to impart some knowledge, we bring back one of the busiest guys in the LLeaguenews.com's Jeff Reinhardt. Good to have you back, Jeff.
Hey, Jackie, good to be here. Here we go.
Well, firstly, the teams playing musical chairs this season. What is the big thing you see coming with the section shuffle?
It's got to be Lancaster Catholic on up to Section 1. Everybody's been waiting for this for 2 years since we found out there was going to be a shuffle. Going to have their eyes on the defending state champs. How are they going to do? Catholic certainly has a pretty good nucleus coming back. Everybody already has week 7 circled. That's when Wilson comes to Lancaster to take on the Crusaders. That should be a ton of fun.
Well, let's talk a little bit about Section 1. You know, size is everything in that group. Do you like having Catholic in the mix, or are we going to be talking about small school problems come the end?
I don't think it's going to be a problem for Catholic now. I did hear Coach Harbach said at Media Day that his numbers are a little low. But like I said, they have a really good nucleus coming back. They have some guys in the trenches. They have Roman Clay, who's one of the best running backs in the state. I think they will compete. I think they'll be just fine. And I would not be surprised at all if that week 7 game with Wilson, first place will be on the line.
Well, Catholic not the only team moving. Garden Spot and Ephrata moving down to their respective new sections. There's no doubt that this is great news for the Mounts. But will this have a negative impact for the Spartans since they are still in AAA, facing AA or even single A competition?
Yeah, I got the sense that they weren't overly thrilled to be going down to Section 3, but I think they'll make the best of it for sure, no doubt about that. I think they'll go down there as the section favorite. They're going to have the biggest roster in Section 3 by far. I think Donegal will challenge, and I would circle that game right now, the Donegal Garden Spot game. And I think they're anxious to see some new teams and some new stadiums and different road trips. But I don't know how long they're going to be in Section 3, so I think they'll make the best of it while they're there.
Well, finally, Jeff, we can never let you leave here without some predictions. So quick fire. Name your 3 section champs.
I think Wilson gets it done in Section 1. Their defense is scary and top-notch. I think Manheim Central comes out of Section 2. They have a lot back and a lot of expectations. And I'll go with Garden Spot in Section 3. New kids on the block. I think they'll play with a chip on their shoulder and come out of there in Section 3.
Well, both predictions, Jeff. We'll see if you still have your prediction magic later on in the season. Well, thanks again. And remember, you can head to Jeff's blog at LLeaguesports.com for more on the league. And also, we have that link on our News 11 sports blog.
We will have more expert analysis coming up later in the show. Eric May is in the house, but first we head down on the sidelines with the Cocalico team wanting to make some noise, find out what the now experienced Eagles think will make them soar through the season.
Cocalico trying to build on last year, but Ephrata trying to rebuild its football tradition. Coming up on high school game night, we check in on Coach Scott Shelley and his boys and how the new chapter has started.
Spencer Moser. Moser slipping in for the touchdown.
Just so much action in that ground game for those Eagles of Cocalico, Jackie. And I know you had some adventures out there last year trying to follow that ball.
Definitely, Brian. I don't know how many times I had to follow the ball so closely. I don't know how many times Brock Gosley and co. fooled me so much with that triple option.
Yeah, and you know, defenses, they have the same problem. Tailback Spencer Moser, Nick Reitenbach rushing for over 800 yards apiece in 2011. And in addition to those two returning to that electric backfield, 8 starters on offense, 8 starters on defense. So there are plenty of reasons to be excited in Eagle country. With so many veteran players back on the field in Denver, it's easy to see why these Eagles are energized about the 2012 campaign.
There's been a great energy. Everybody's out here. They want to work. We're trying to get better every day, and that's all we can ask for.
Just the entire team just this year is awesome, fantastic. Everybody's working hard. Everybody's trying to reach the potential that we can.
Chemistry, number one. I want to see us grow together and, you know, just work hard together.
We're going to go out with more heart and more energy than we did last year because we have more returning starters and we know how bad it hurt to lose by like 1 point and stuff like that. So I think it's just going to push us even harder.
The backfield will be running on all cylinders. Spencer Moser, Nick Reitenbach, Tyler Buckwalter, and Dalton Kern are all a year older and all a year stronger.
They just matured. They went from being sophomores to kind of growing into juniors, and juniors growing into seniors. So just a lot of maturity.
Knowing everybody that is there can do their job and is all matured and we all have talent and speed, it's just great.
I'm excited to see how good we do with our backfield because I know we have a lot of ability back there.
The senior leadership on the team has a sense that there's something special brewing and want to make sure that this edition of Cocalico football is remembered.
Our seniors want to go out with a bang, and we're really trying to make an impact this year.
We're really trying to leave a mark on Cocalico itself. We want to leave something behind that people remember us by. We're really looking forward to making our own legacy.
Now remember, Cocalico made it all the way to the District 3 final 2 years ago. We'll have to see how close they can get to that mark this season, but they're not the only ones running that veer offense in Section 2, Jackie.
No, Brian, I'm going to struggle to Ephrata games now, too, since the veteran Cocalico coaching staff has landed at the Ward. The Mounts out to prove a point after struggling the last few seasons, and with new coaches, a new group, the team hopes for new respect. A tough 2 seasons for Ephrata football in Section 1. Only 3 wins in 2 years, but the wind is looking to change at the Ward.
Everyone in the locker room is tired of the losing ways that Ephrata has.
We definitely want to shock people. Definitely want to change their opinion about us.
We're trying to build a program from the bottom up and from the top down at the same time, getting the community, school involved.
A new section and a new vibe.
The key is Bustin to stay with him. Get right in his shoulder.
Coach Scott Shelley taking the reins of the program, bringing in years of coaching experience himself and a batch of experience on his coaching staff.
Heart, hustle, you know, just technique and how to win. That they know what teams run, like they know what to expect from other teams. They're going to give us the upper hand.
We think we have a proven offensive philosophy. It's worked for many, many years, and we have a proven defensive philosophy that's worked, and we're going to stick with it.
You start, and you 2 guys repeat it.
With former Cocalico coach Phil Kaufman coordinating that offense, expect to see that veer running wild, handing a bigger role to junior running back Bobby Nye.
Run the ball 65 times. I have no problem with that.
Really a good feeling to know that our game plan is to eat the clock away and actually rest our defense.
That we're keeping good offenses off the field.
This is the kind of offense that's going to build confidence in them. 3 1/3 yards every time we get a first down, we keep moving the ball.
Confidence to help the team grow.
Run with him, don't keep punching him.
And to help the Mounts show what they're made of.
Probably not going to be the biggest team each week, but we're just going to go out and work our hardest.
It's going to be very interesting to see where we come out.
Manheim Central is one new squad Ephrata will be facing this season in Section 2, and these guys are no pushovers. No Caleb Walton, but that defense and offense is 1 year wiser. What's brewing for the Barons ahead?
Plus, the Warriors from Warwick, plagued by injury last season, do they have the depth this year to compete in the new look Section 1? All that coming up on High School Game Night.
Quarterback draw. Caleb Walton, touchdown. Walker run. Walker firing end zone. It is there. Touchdown. I've been waiting for that all night.
No doubt, Caleb Walton is a huge loss for Manheim Central's offense. The QB last season passed for under 1,500 yards and was the team's leading rusher. Tough player to replace, but something is brewing in Baron Nation after last season's growing pains, and you can say Coach Mike Williams has something up his sleeve in his 32nd year at Manheim.
Caleb had to basically be the show.
No doubt, Manheim Central rode Caleb Walton all the way to the district playoffs last season. This year, the Barons return a lot of size to help Colin Fry fill Walton's shoes.
Those young kids we had last year, bigger, stronger, faster, so we're a little bit more optimistic about the season.
We're ready off the first day after camp. We're already close and know each other because you know how everyone already acts and kind of almost how they think.
Go! Central's offense will not be a one-man show this season. Fry will have some options at wideout with 3 standouts returning, while the Barons' ground attack receives some reinforcement with Lancaster Catholic transfer Mark Royer.
I think we'll be in the hunt and with the offense. I don't think we have to worry about the defense shutting people out every game.
Until all the pieces line up for that offense, though, they can certainly count on that vaunted Central defense stepping up.
I'd be great at the pass rush. We've got kids with athleticism and speed.
There's definitely a lot of leadership. They definitely fly to the ball, and it's a unit that works together real well.
No matter the names on that roster, the drive for excellence at Manheim Central remains, using last season's district loss as an incentive.
A lot of underclassmen are pretty motivated by that and don't want that to happen again this year.
This year we have the goal of being section champions, and that's what we want to be, and that's what we should be.
You have good kids at Manheim. When you have those good kids, they keep you in the game for 32 years. If you didn't have them, you wouldn't. I don't know anybody that would survive for 32 years.
Well, the Barons are ranked 6th in PA Football News AAA state rankings, behind the highest LL League team in that bracket, Central Do, with a tough non-league schedule facing some big guys from Section 1.
Yeah, and one of those teams, Jackie, is of course Warwick. Last season, just an unlucky one for the Warriors, dealing with injury after injury and forcing younger players into the starting lineup. But all that experience has now become a strength as a healthier and deeper Warriors team looks to challenge their opponents every week. The Warwick roster contains 17 seniors this season, including quarterback Zach Hurst. Back under center this year and feeling comfortable and confident in his wideouts.
So we've known each other, and I've been throwing to them pretty much all my life since I've been playing quarterback. So, I feel confident throwing to them, and we have some other guys that are stepping up and looking good, so I feel very confident.
He's made excellent progress. I like his demeanor. I like his attitude, so we're real pleased with him. We'll run the ball to set up the pass. That's who we are. We try to dictate what we want to do.
Having the right attitude is going to be a key for the team because, as they learned last year, every play is precious.
There you go, Weaver.
Play every play like you don't get another one, because I feel like we didn't play with that kind of attitude.
I think we're just playing for each other, and we'll see what happens with the record, but we're going to play as hard as we can, as long as we can, and I think we're going to be able to challenge some teams this year.
The Warriors begin the season with the backyard brawl at Manheim Central, and getting off to a good start is always crucial.
If you get off to a good start, you sort of find out your identity as a team. You can sort of build some momentum going into the next weeks, and that's huge. Because if you don't have your identity going into section play, they're going to tear you apart.
I just think if we start out good and play our best, sky's the limit.
High school game night continues after this 1-minute timeout with some of the fastest guys in the LLE. A nice sight for Garden Spot. Adam Haas is back this season. Will the 900-yard rusher be the key to that Spartan offense?
Plus, CV's Anthony Brown, running wild last season, is the now senior ready to carry his team all the way to the postseason. We hear from the workhorse next.
Gives to Anthony Brown, cuts back across the grain. Anthony Brown into the open field. Anthony Brown, touchdown. Inside the 10-yard line, it is Anthony Brown going straight ahead, hurdles the defender into the end zone for a touchdown.
Conestoga Valley's Anthony Brown had to carry the load last season after quarterback Terrence Taylor's injury forced the offense to try to reinvent itself on the fly, and it was a bit of a struggle to do so. But in 2012, things are going to be a little different for these Buckskins.
Anthony Brown into the open field, being chased.
Anthony Brown will yet again be the workhorse.
Touchdown!
Oh my goodness. And focal point of opposing defenses in his senior year after rushing for 1,444 yards as a junior, becoming one of the most valuable players in the LLE.
He's definitely a great back. He has a lot of versatility, and you know, we're going to be using him to throw the ball to as well. So defenses are going to have to key on him a lot.
I want to get the ball in his hands as much as I can. Not sure if I'm going to be able to do it the same way I did last year. He's going to get as many touches as he had last year. Whether it's running the ball or catching the ball, that remains to be seen.
Quarterback Ryan Brooks took over the job last season, but just couldn't get into a passing rhythm. An off-season focus has been getting that air attack back on track.
We're much better throwing the ball this year than we were last year.
I think Coach will be able to rely on me to be able to pass.
He'll definitely make the defenses change up a little bit and not just focus on Brownie back there in the backfield.
I know a lot of teams are going to be keen on the run, so we're going to be passing a lot more and finding different ways to score.
If the offense can become a true double threat, this group of Buckskin seniors might be able to get another taste of the postseason.
The seniors this year, we got a chance to go to postseason when we were sophomores, and we all want that feeling back.
And I've never really got to experience it, especially with last year us falling short, so I definitely want to be able to make a run for the playoffs this year.
I think that would be like a picture-perfect ending to the season.
Got to take one game at a time, though, but we all want to get back there.
Garden Spot football had quite the run in 2012. In 3 seasons, the Spartans went from an 0-10 team to a 7-4 squad that qualified for playoffs. The key now is trying to find that consistency and to remain competitive, and they have to do it without their star-studded cast from last season. Garden Spot's well-armed offense from last season taking a hit. Quarterback John Armbrust threw for 29 touchdowns, with Connor Schlegel catching 19 of those. With both of them graduating, the Spartans are trying to find that spark.
It's a good year to be breaking in a new quarterback. We have a lot of depth up front.
Catch the ball!
We don't have a lot of returning experience, but we have size, strength.
That's what I'm talking about.
It's all about trying to see what kind of talent we have and, you know, find the way to make it work.
We're sort of simplifying what we did last year a little bit.
We're not looking to put our quarterback into a position where he has to go out and make a bunch of reads and throw the football down the field right away.
One of the reasons why they don't have to is Adam Haas. The tailback was out last season with a torn ACL, but now the 900-yard rusher is back and fitter than ever.
Just a punishing tailback, but it also has a lot of athletic ability. He's a super strong kid.
Well, I mean, anytime you got a big guy like that, I mean, he's real hard to bring down.
He looks as good as he's ever looked, and he's a little lighter than he was last year. He's leaned down, he's worked harder in that phase.
We got 2 young quarterbacks, so like we'd like to be able to take some of the pressure off of them with the run game.
Team will also hope to take the pressure off the offense with a defense that is returning many of last year's starters.
I mean, we got senior guys on defense, a lot of experience, so we need to step up.
All right, Weaver.
Listen, that's kind of what we're going to lean back on this year as we're trying to fit a new mold with offense.
We've got a great mentality here. That's the main thing. You know, everybody here loves working hard.
So we heard Jeff Reinhardt's take earlier in the show on Garden Spot. He says he thinks the Spartans are on the path to glory in Section 3.
Oh, but let's get a second opinion. Coming up next, Blue Ridge football analyst Eric May is in the house, and he weighs in on the 2012 season. Welcome back to High School Game Night's preseason special, and it wouldn't be complete without some predictions, so we're joined by the voice of Blue Ridge football, Eric May. Thanks for taking the time, Eric.
Yeah, my pleasure. Glad to be here.
All right, so let's look at Section 1. How do you think Warwick rebounds from a rough year, and with Lancaster Catholic coming in, can anyone dethrone Wilson at the top?
Well, as far as Warwick is concerned, you look at what they have coming back, and I think the strength of their team is going to be up front. Zach Hurst is the quarterback. He experienced injury as pretty much all Warwick quarterbacks last year. If you can keep him healthy, I think there's going to be good things in Lidditz. As far as Wilson is concerned, every year this team is always near the top. Of course, they've got 90-some kids in uniform. That helps. Having Lancaster Catholic in Section 1 is really going to make the section very interesting. I think Section 1 is going to be a dogfight all year long.
All right, and it should be a wild season in Section 2. Lampeter Strasburg is taking the last 2 section titles, but who has the firepower this year to deny them the three-peat?
Well, I think you look at LS, and first thing you look at is the skill players that were lost in graduation. That's hard to replace when you lose that many guys. Granted, you have the guys up front, which can definitely help, but I think Manheim Central and Cocalico are going to be the top 2 teams there in Section 2 this year. Both have returning players. They've got not only returners up front, but skill players as well. Look for the Eagles and Barons to do battle again towards the end of the year.
Oh, can't wait. And finally in Section 3, Garden Spot joins the party dealing with some major losses, but is there enough talent left for the Spartans to make some noise there in the lower section?
Well, I think so. I think the move down wasn't really embraced by the kids, but at the same time, they look at it as a new challenge, and I think it's something that they're gonna embrace. How soon they adjust to it, though, and of course, keeping everybody healthy is going to be key for Garden Spot. But I think Donegal and Columbia are 2 teams to look out for in Section 3.
All right, thanks so much, Eric. We appreciate it. And remember, we do have this on tape, so we'll have to see if your predictions hold up.
Okay, don't hold me to it, though.
Well, we promise to be nice, Eric. And don't forget, you can hear from Eric May again this coming Friday on opening night. Our game of the week is at Manheim Central as backyard rivals Warwick journey to Barron Nation. Eric will have the call from the booth with former Conestoga Valley head coach Jerry Novak.
Should be quite a rivalry game to open up the season. Our coverage begins at 7 p.m. this coming Friday night as the high school football season kicks off.
Don't forget, Brian and I will be back here for high school game night after the evening report on Friday for all the highlights and scores across the league.
Should be a jam-packed season, but for now, I'm Brian Cass. She is Jackie Franchuli, and let the countdown to kickoff begin.